The day I stopped loving her. I don't think anyone really prepares you for the moment when the person you love the most becomes a stranger. For me, it happened on a rainy Thursday night, standing in the doorway of an apartment that wasn't mine, listening to the muffled sounds of my girlfriend laughing with another man. But to get to that moment, I have to start at the beginning. Her name was Elise. We met during my senior year of college. She was the kind of girl you noticed immediately, confident without being arrogant, funny in a way that made you feel like you were in on some secret joke. She had this effortless charm that drew people in, and for reasons I'll never fully understand, she chose me. I wasn't the kind of guy girls like Elise usually dated. I was steady, quiet, more focused on my engineering classes than on parties or nightlife. But Elise said she liked that about me. She said I was grounding, that I made her feel safe. And God, I believed her. We fell into each other fast. Dinners that turned into long walks. Study sessions that ended with her falling asleep on my shoulder. Nights where she whispered about her dreams, traveling, working in fashion, living a life bigger than the small town she'd grown up in. I thought we were building something real. The first cracks showed up subtle, almost invisible if you weren't looking. She started going out more without me. Girls' nights, she'd say, brushing off my hesitation with a quick kiss. She started dressing up more too, skirts shorter, lipstick brighter. I told myself it was normal, that I was being insecure. She teased me about being boring, about working too much, about not knowing how to loosen up. It always came with a laugh, but underneath, I could feel the sharpness. And when she started hiding her phone screen when I walked into the room, my stomach twisted. Still, I ignored it. I trusted her. I loved her. That was my mistake. It happened almost by accident. I'd finished a project early and decided to surprise her with dinner. She wasn't answering her phone, but I figured she was napping or busy. I picked up takeout from her favorite place and drove to her apartment. When I got there, her car was in the lot. Her lights were on. But when I knocked, no answer. Something felt wrong, so I tried the spare key she'd given me months ago. The moment I stepped inside, I knew. The smell of cologne that wasn't mine. A pair of men's shoes by the door. The sound of laughter drifting from the bedroom. I froze. Every cell in my body screaming to leave, but my legs carried me forward anyway, like I needed to see it with my own eyes. And I did. Elise. With him. The world tilted. My stomach dropped. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the food I was holding. She saw me before he did. Her smile faltered, then vanished. She scrambled, pulling the blanket around herself, stammering my name. I didn't say a word. I just set the takeout on her kitchen counter, turned, and walked out. For weeks, I felt like I was living underwater. I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. I replayed it in my head over and over, the way she looked at me, not guilty, not devastated, just caught. She called. She texted. She even showed up at my apartment once, crying, begging me to talk it out. She said it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything, that she loved me. But all I could hear was her laughter in that room. I wanted to hate her. But mostly, I hated myself for not seeing it sooner, for ignoring all the signs, for loving someone who could betray me so easily. I spiraled. I drank too much. Skipped classes. Barely held myself together long enough to graduate. If it hadn't been for my best friend pulling me out of bed one morning and telling me I was wasting my life, I don't know where I'd be. It didn't happen overnight. But little by little, I started piecing myself back together. I poured my energy into work. I got a job at a tech firm, threw myself into every project, stayed late, volunteered for tasks no one else wanted. I told myself if I couldn't be loved, at least I could be useful. And it paid off. Promotions came. Opportunities opened. I started traveling, presenting, meeting people who challenged me, inspired me. Outside of work, I rebuilt too. I hit the gym, not out of vanity but to feel strong again. I reconnected with old friends, made new ones. I laughed again, real laughter, the kind that bubbles up without warning. For the first time since Elise, I felt like I was living for me. Years passed. One night, scrolling through social media, I saw Elise. Or rather, I saw what was left of her. The glamorous life she'd dreamed of? Gone. The guy she cheated with? Married someone else. Elise was back in our small town, working a retail job, posting vague, bitter captions about fake people and second chances. Mutual friends told me she'd burned a lot of bridges. Her selfishness, the same trait that once drew people in, had eventually pushed them away. And me? I was thriving. I'd started my own company by then, something that actually made a difference in people's lives. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was building something real, something mine. Elise reached out once. A short, hesitant message, *hey. I saw you in that article. You've done amazing. I miss you *. I stared at it for a long time. And then I deleted it. This isn't a victory lap. It's not revenge. It's just the truth, Elise's betrayal destroyed me. But in the ashes of that destruction, I rebuilt a life she never would have fit into. I don't hate her anymore. I don't even think about her most days. But when I do, it's with a kind of bittersweet gratitude. Because if she hadn't cheated, if she hadn't broken me, I never would have learned how strong I could become. And maybe that's the cruel irony of it all, she lost everything by chasing something shallow, while I found everything by learning to stand on my own. The day I stopped loving her was the day I started loving myself.